Hi, I'm Chrissy.
And I'm Jess. And this is Financial Progress.
Before we begin, I just want to give a little disclaimer that this is just a conversation between friends. This is not financial advice. Please seek the help of a financial professional before making any financial decisions.
Yes.
Welcome, everyone, to Financial Progress Podcast. Today, we are going to do another episode of Am I the Asshole? But today, I am going to go first and just read the script from Reddit. And Jess is going to respond.
Yes.
So, am I the asshole?
Blind reaction for me.
Yes. Am I the asshole for refusing to spend my savings to bail out my sibling from debt? So, my sibling recently approached me asking for help with their financial situation. Apparently, they've racked up a ton of debt over the past few years from emergency purchases and lifestyle choices. They've been struggling to manage it, and now it's at a breaking point where creditors are contacting them nonstop. I've been careful with my money, working hard and saving for years to build up a bit of a safety net for myself. I'm not rolling in cash, but I've got enough set aside to feel secure. When my sibling asked me to help, they weren't looking for a small loan. They wanted me to clear out nearly all of my savings to cover their debts. They argued that families should help each other and implied I was selfish for not wanting to help them get out of this mess. I tried suggesting other options like talking to a financial advisor or consolidating their debt, but they brushed those off, saying they'd take too long and that I was their only real option. They even got my parents involved, who are now pressuring me, saying that family is more important than money, and that I should do this because I'm the responsible one. I feel for my sibling, and I understand they're in a tough spot, but it doesn't feel fair to me to sacrifice everything I've worked for, especially when I had nothing to do with their financial choices. Now I'm being called heartless and cold by my family, and I'm starting to wonder if I'm being selfish for holding on to my savings. Am I the asshole for refusing to use my savings to bail out my sibling?
Fuck no. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Right.
So it sounds like that's her emergency savings. That's right.
Sounds like it.
You're not supposed to touch it. This is not her emergency. It's their emergency, right? So technically, she should not be touching it for anybody unless it's for her. And then, oh my God, why do they? That's like narcissistic, right? For them to be like, oh, it's
to call her selfish. Yeah, for being responsible. I don't understand that. And like she said, she's not rolling in dough. She has like an amount for savings. I don't understand why they think that they're entitled to that money at all.
No.
And I understand asking for help, but it sounds like they don't want a loan at all. They just want for her to give them this money to bail them out.
That's like a double hell no.
Which sounds like very unreasonable. What if she does that and then she has an emergency herself and then she has no money and no one to turn to because she doesn't have anyone in her family who has that money? So who is she supposed to turn to if something were to happen and she had to use emergency savings that she doesn't have because she gave away to her siblings? Yeah, so no. I don't know. To me, that's like a clear, no. You're not an asshole at all. I think your sibling can benefit, like you mentioned, from speaking to a financial advisor or maybe even walking into a credit union or a bank and just asking, like, what are my options? The debt consolidation loan might be a good source because if you don't have money to pay all your bills on time and the creditors are calling you, maybe you do need some kind of debt consolidation loan. So maybe that would be a good option. But if they're not being reasonable or responsible with their money, I don't think it's fair to go ask your sibling who has been responsible with their money to bail you out. That's just not fair to them. So,
and even if she's like, you know what, let me do this. This is my sibling. I'm going to help you out. They don't have the tools to pay her back. Even if like she did it as a loan. They don't even know how to do that. They like, no.
Yeah. And it sounds like they're just going to find themselves back in this situation. So is this just going to keep happening? And then every time she saves a little bit of money, they're going to keep asking her for it. Like, that's just not fair. Instead, like, if she can sit down with her and teach them like how to do a budget, how to save money, how to actually get out of this hole, then maybe that would be reasonable to expect from your sibling, is to, can you sit down with me and show me like, how can I make this work? How can I make this budget work? How can I, reduce some of my costs, my expenses, whatever it is? That would be more of a reasonable expectation from your sibling than to just, hey, give me this money to bail me out because of some poor life choices that I made.
Yeah.
They did say emergency purchases and lifestyle choices. We don't know what the emergency is. Don't know if it's like health related or anything like that. I think if it's more health related, then I would be more inclined to like help out a little bit, but not if it's just like their lifestyle choices of spending excessively or things like that. And but yeah, I don't know.
It's crazy.
To me,
I'm curious. What are some of the comments that came from it?
So some of the comments: not the asshole. It's their fault they got into this situation, and it's not your responsibility to get them out of it, especially if it will put you in a bad situation to help them. The person responded, thanks for saying that. It's hard to stand my ground, especially when the guilt trip is intense. But I really don't want to put myself in a bad position just because they made poor choices. Someone else put, tell them, since I was getting punished for being the responsible one, I chose not to be, since family bails out others anyway. So I bought lottery and lost everything. I would appreciate if you can give me some money for next month's rent. They're not listening to any other options because they want free money from you that they never have to pay back. And if you give it now, it's just the beginning and you will become the enabler. Stop telling them how much money you make, spend, or save. Let this be a lesson to keep your finances a secret. Tell them you spent everything and keep it away from them, and start asking them for money.
Oh man. Yeah, one of my biggest thing is when people feel that they're entitled to it. Like, oh, but I know you have money. Why can't you give me some? Well, because I'm responsible and I'm doing what I need to do to get there. That shouldn't be my job to do that. Like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, I also know like it requires a lot of intentionality and a lot of sacrifice to actually save up that money, especially if you're just making ends meet. We both know what it's like to pay off a big amount of debt and then to start saving for an emergency fund. So it's not easy. You have to sacrifice certain things.
Sacrificed a lot.
Yes, we did sacrifice a lot to get to that place, and to just feel guilt tripped by someone saying that they should get our emergency savings because they've spent irresponsibly. That's not fair. So I don't know. I would say clearly not the asshole here.
Not at all. Not even a little bit. No.
Yeah, I'm sorry that your family is guilt tripping you. I think maybe they need to reevaluate what's going on, and maybe just help the sibling with figuring out how to move forward. Don't know what the cause is. Like I mentioned, if it's health related or anything like that, then I would be more inclined to help. But if it's just life choices, she doesn't mention if it's health related or anything like that. So I doubt if it is, but I would say, not the asshole.
So if someone is going through something like this, definitely, if you can or if you want to, sit down with them, go over their budget, and see if you can create a plan that would help them. And worst case scenario is filing bankruptcy, I guess, if they can't afford a payment every month. But you are not entitled to help family if they are irresponsible. No, you're
Yeah.
not.
And I would say it's also not helping them if you're just giving them this money, because they're just going to find themselves back in the same situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's not teaching them anything.
Yeah.
So yes, it's definitely just that value of sitting down with them, discussing their options, and trying to give them hope to get out of the situation they're in, because maybe they just don't have any hope otherwise to get out of the situation, and maybe they just need that little bit of light from you to guide them or help them.
And they need guidance. Yeah, they need guidance for sure.
Yeah.
But not everybody is accepting of guidance, even if they're going through stuff, which is the crazy part. They are too ashamed to sit down and go through guidance, but they just need to be able to know that it's non-judgmental. Sit down, let's talk about it, let's get you through, let's get you where you need to go so that you don't have to get into this situation again.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll definitely take some time to sit down and get them on the plan and have them actually follow the plan, because that's difficult to do as well. Also, like, contacting a credit union or a bank to just see what your options are. I think that would be helpful as well. But yeah, maybe bankruptcy, like you mentioned, as a last resort. But yeah, I think if you just give them money, they're just going to keep racking up the debt, and it's just going to get out of control in the long run. So
yeah.
And they're going to keep coming back to you after you saved up that money. So that's not good. Yeah.
So no, she's not the asshole. No, just no.
And to actually expect them to just give you the money, like I could understand like a loan, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, can you loan me this money just so I could get over this hardship? Like, I understand that, but to just expect them to just give it to you, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening, everyone. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this situation. Please comment below, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.